Hello, everyone. Today I am looking at Kingdom Hearts. I have a very hard time reviewing this game because I know this is very beloved to a lot of people, but I really, frankly, despise Kingdom Hearts on a certain level. And I mean, I don't despise it, but I also think it's very funny. But it's one of these games that I just... oh my god, it's just so so very, very frustrating and strange. For an example, so this entire concept, this entire crazy world of Disney characters interacting with Square Enix originals and also Final Fantasy characters is just bizarre beyond belief. It's some weird, demented fan fiction that has come to life, and honestly, I love it and hate it at the same time. I hate it because there are some levels in this game which are so unfathomably terribly designed that make me want to kill myself. Like the friggin' the vine part in the Tarzan level almost made me drop the game, because you are trying to swing from vine to vine, and when you think it's safe to let go or press the input button to go to the next vine, it's like nope. And there's this one other mini game I think in there. There's also Chameleon Boss. The Tarzan level really pushed me to my limit in terms of what I'm willing to endure for a game. But aside from that, there are very good things about Kingdom Hearts as well. For example, first of all, the dialogue in this game is just honestly stupid. I love how dumb the dialogue is, and how all the memes about the really bizarre, weird dialogue. The fact that you have this anime twink along with Donald and Goofy, and they both have like a sorcerer and shield aesthetic, and while you have this giant keyblade, it's just ridiculous. But that being said, I do want to say that there are some parts in Kingdom Hearts that are actually really, really well done, like stupidly well done. And they all revolve around, the light versus the darkness motif, which I'm an absolute sucker for. I mean, I love that kind of stuff. And also kind of the music video-esque intros, how you have Sora kind of falling through the water, reaching his hand out to Riku. And they have this very aesthetic intro. I would say like the Kingdom Hearts intros, at least for 1 and 2, are so incredibly strong that they set a very strong tone for the whole game. And I love the opening because you're on this island, and it's kind of implied that the island isn't real, that these are, maybe someone else's memories. I also love the mechanics of how the Shadow version and the Heartless really version and the Nobodies in the sequel work. I think that's honestly a brilliant idea. And I also love that Kingdom Hearts is this mysterious place where they're not sure what it is, they just know it's a place of power. And at the final scene where they're betting if it's filled with light or darkness is honestly one of the coolest scenes I've ever seen in a lot of video games. It's really so frustrating that the 10% of this game, the first 5% and the last 10% and the last 5% are just actually unironically amazing and really well done, and just like part of some of the best moments in video games. And then the other like 90 to 80% of the in-between stuff is absolute cringe-inducing garbage that is either so bad it's funny or so bad you want to kill yourself. And that's Kingdom Hearts. Honestly, you basically go through a bunch of Disney kind of stories revolving around certain characters and their arcs and stuff. And of course, they're not going to get the original voice actors for the original movies, so it's all off-putting, weird dialogue. And it's Sora and Donald and Goofy, and yes, that's the way they refer to them throughout the entire thing. Even if Goofy and Donald appear first, they refer to them as Sora, Donald, and Goofy. Everything about this game is just, oh my god, it's so unbelievably strange and frustrating, and the dialogue is so bad at some points. You think it's a joke. You think that they wrote it like this on purpose, but I digress. What's a bigger issue is the actual gameplay. It's just very I mean, it's a hack and slash, so you kind of have to turn your brain off in order to get the best kind of combat experience out of it, honestly. They also have a very interesting, interaction system where essentially you can scroll through using the D-pad different actions you would take, so that's good for doing magic and stuff, and they can also map magic to the L1 button. That could be your hotbar for doing like fire, electricity, water, arrow, etc. And what I also do like is in the game, for each world you go to, there's a different kind of keyblade you get that matches the theme of that world. But yeah, Kingdom Hearts 1 especially, it's a very rough game. It's very, whatever. And what I really do hate a lot, I think, about this game is the combat, because when you connect with an enemy, it feels like wet paper. It feels like you're not making an impact at all, and it feels like you're just spamming the same button. I mean, this is the same issue I've had with not as bad, but like other games like Final Fantasy 15, where you're just hitting things and numbers are appearing. I think this game actually might be a little bit better in terms of its connectability when you hit an enemy, but I just never liked the combat in Kingdom Hearts game. I've never liked it. It's just something that is not good. It doesn't feel good to me. I know a lot of people consider this game to be like on the same level as Devil May Cry as an action game, or for some reason I don't see it. Yes, you can parry. Yes, you can block. Yes, you can roll. But for the average player who's just playing this on an average level, we are not doing that. And it's really weird that those kind of advanced mechanics exist. I mean, I guess good, great, but a lot of people just don't use them, I guess. Again, I do like Sora. I think as a character, he's very iconic. He has a very, a very distinct sense of self. His dialogue, his moveset, his everything. I mean, he got in Smash Brothers for a reason. He has a certain way of conducting himself. And so throughout the story, you basically just go through classic Disney stories by helping out certain characters and going around the level. Another thing that I think would benefit this game if they got rid of, and something that I really, really hate deeply, is probably the music. A lot of the music in this game, besides the main theme, I mean, hey, don't get me wrong, I love Simple and Clean. I sing that a lot more than I should. It's kind of like somewhere trapped in my subconscious. It's my MK Ultra trigger song. Like, some of the music in these levels is really repetitive and grating and frustrating and just is not fun to listen to on loop, especially when you're stuck in a level and you don't know where to go because they don't give you good enough instructions, and you're stuck fighting the same enemies over and over again, unsure of what to do, and it's really, really frustrating. Anyway, so yeah, some of the levels you go to in this game are Alice in Wonderland, Tarzan, Beauty and the Beast, and then, the last one is called Hollow Bastion, which is specifically made just for kind of the Kingdom Hearts-esque level. It's kind of based on Beauty and the Beast, I think, or like part of it, like it's a castle kind of, but there's already another Beauty and the Beast level. And so you kind of go through this final area, and again, it's just so ridiculous to see characters like Maleficent talk to like Zenmas or Xerxes or whatever the hell his name is. And you have like the anime edge with like cheesy Disney characters interacting, and just I love it and I hate it because it's so bizarre. And yeah, I know this game was very, very popular, especially with like girls, I guess, because girls are more, I guess, Disney friendly. But yeah, I struggled a lot while playing this game because it was like, I'm really either not having a fun time or I'm having such a terrible time. It's hilarious and I want to keep going. But yeah, there's also really cool things. Oh, yeah, there's also Hercules. There's cool things like, the Hercules tournament. There's other, cool upgradable things to get different magic powers. There's a Peter Pan level, the Aladdin level. And you kind of have these end game bosses, which actually are kind of fun and have a really cool design to them. And so the one thing I do like about Kingdom Hearts is that you just never know what it's going to throw at you, if it's going to be something really dumb or actually really interesting and nuanced. Oh yeah, and the other thing too is that there are Final Fantasy characters in this game, and part of the Hercules tournament is there is Cloud from like Final Fantasy VII, but he's slightly different. I'm not sure if it's, I don't think it's his Advent Children look, but he has this like claw arm and this cape, and I think it's from like, I don't know, that one Vincent game. I don't know. It seems like he's kind of like ripping like a Vincent kind of style when he's in that game in Kingdom Hearts, and he's one of the bosses, and he's like really, really hard, obviously. Yeah, probably Traverse Town probably has the worst OST, and it's fine. When you listen to it, you're like, oh, this isn't so bad. The song is fine. Yeah, but when you have to listen to that song on loop over and over and over and over again, when you just want to like buy an item or like find like, a little enemy or like a encounter fight, or you need to find like a little side objective, believe me, it really gets old fast. Also, the other thing, I guess, another reason why I guess I don't like this game is because I've already know how the Disney movies end and their stories already. Replaying them as Sora doesn't really add a lot to the story. But again, the Kingdom Hearts story within its own universe is actually really interesting. The whole fact that you're on this island and you're not sure what's going on is really interesting. And again, my favorite area is in that beginning section. And as I was just mentioning about Final Fantasy characters in this game, there's one really strange / interesting component where at the very beginning of the game, you have other islanders on this island, and they are chibi versions of Final Fantasy X characters. So there's Titus, I think Wakka, and Riku. And I just found that really interesting. Like, okay, it's another beach theme game that came out like a year ago, but I found it was really interesting. They decided to like Disneyfy the FF10 cast and then put them in the opening part of this game. And I had no idea. So when I started Kingdom Hearts, I was like, oh, what the heck? Another thing I do have to give credit to Kingdom Hearts is the main menu, the main song, Dearly Beloved, and also like the way you select the menu and the certain things. It has a very ethereal feel to it, and it's very, very distinct. Like the Kingdom Hearts sound font is honestly very distinct, and I really, really like it. And I like, honestly, the idea of Kingdom Hearts way more than playing the bloody game because it's not fun. Again, that island level where you have the hooded figure and he's like saying, this place isn't real and you're trying to leave and you really shouldn't. Like, if Kingdom Hearts was actually just the island and like Hollow Bastion, I'd be so much more interested in it, because again, they have the ability to tell a really interesting story between, reality and fantasy. And I love that opening level where it has, kind of the sky reflected endlessly, and you have this dreamlike state, and you have Sora, selecting, what class you're going to be, if you're going to be, off the sword, the shield, or the wand, and you have this, this epic chants playing in the background. Like, the opening to this game is so strong and has an air of mysteriousness to it. And the theme of the Shadow Battles, Destai, I love that theme. That is like so badass, so cool, and has this like epic theme to it that is, I guess has to be inspired by the Disney movies. But then you finally get to go into the Disney movies and you get the gummy ship. And I just remembered that the currency in this game is called money, as in MUNNY. And then you just go into absolute cringe land that is just beyond your comprehension. There's nothing. Kingdom Hearts autism is a very special kind of autism. There's Sonic autism, Kingdom Hearts, and then like Undertale kind of. They're very distinct and different kinds of autisms. And like, there's parts of me that, again, I really like parts of this game, and there's parts of me where most of it is just a grind through poorly voice acted, poorly designed levels, and poorly retold Disney stories that make me honestly want to kill myself, but also are extremely funny when they're so bad. And that's just the Kingdom Hearts experience, I guess. Again, I do like the chemistry between Riku, Sora, and Kairi, how they both are trying to, find, the final purpose. Riku, of course, has, the power trip, I need to become stronger in order to defend Kairi while you're weak kind of vibe to him, and he sold his soul out to the darkness. I really love the character dynamics between the main cast. Like, literally, I like everything about this game besides the Disney aspects that take up most of the game. If they just took that out, then I don't know. I also do like they have this motif where Mickey Mouse is like this king, but he's missing, so you like rarely see him. and he just gives him this mythological, status, like, oh, we can't even show this character, he's so epic. And either for copyright reasons or whatever, I think they have to pay a royalty every time you have the Mickey Mouse ears or something. There's some insane royalty you have to pay, and it also makes me wonder about the longevity of these games and licensing, but that's like another issue, I guess. Again, it's funny too that over the course of time that I've seen Disney try to make games, they cannot make good video games, and video games are very, I think a child-friendly kind of activity, and they're just not able to do it. Like, Disney games have always been really, really bad, and this is the only Disney IP that anyone really ever recognizes and actually vibes with. And I do appreciate people love this game for what it is. It's just it's an experience, all right. It's an experience, and if it wasn't so long, I think I would be much easier on it. If it was only like a 10-hour game max instead of maybe like a 40-hour game, I'd be much more lenient. But unfortunately, you must suffer for your Disney fanfic extraordinaire. Something that is really cool, I do like about it, is that you also get a certain character from that world. So like Hercules will join you, Ariel, etc., the Beast, and so they'll each have their own kind of moveset. And as you're fighting, it's a pretty cool dynamic system wherein at a certain point it will just essentially shoot out this command where you can do this ultimate attack, and suddenly you can do a bunch of rockets, or the teacups from Disney as an attack, or the Beast or Hercules will have their own specific attack specifically for that level. And it's just really cool. It's a lot of fun. Also, I'd say this is the most comprehensive Kingdom Hearts, where by the time 2 rolls around, that's when things get really overly complicated. But here it's very simple. You're this kid called Sora from this world of this island, trying to find out what happened to your friends, and using the power of friendship to unite everyone, bring them together, and defeat the forces of darkness and evil. Anyway, Kingdom Hearts is a classic game, for better or for worse. Again, you really don't need to play it. I think I'd rather watch a Let's Play of this game, honestly. But just to understand exactly what it's like, and where it comes from, and just being part of that pantheon of games, and how this series absolutely refuses to die because of the diehard fans. And honestly, the new Kingdom Hearts games look really good. Kingdom Hearts 4 coming into the real world. It's not out yet, so I'm excited to see at least what that does. And yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. See ya. Another thing I really, I mentioned it briefly about the Gummy Ship is, like, again, the best and worst thing imaginable. It's this cool little mini game where you can build your own ship, and you can have this on-rail shooter as you go in between the worlds. But it's really just kind of an aggravating mini game to go through. And, even if you make the best ship in the world, it's still like, okay, great, now you can beat this mini game slightly faster. There's a lot of mechanics that are really interesting, I guess, in this game for what they were trying, but a lot of them I just don't care for. It really hurts my head. I just remember in general that I remember playing this game and just being stuck quite a lot of the time. Honestly, if I just had a guide, it would be a lot easier in general. And again, the Tarzan level really pushed me to my limits. But yeah, Kingdom Hearts, again, it has a really great ending, a really great message about, the self-overcoming, the darkness, the shadow, the dark emotions, and it's very innocent at the same time. And yeah, it's just a staple of the video game landscape at this point.